Time for a new segment here on the Starters called Love It or Leave It, where we're going to debate some hypothetical trades, and all of them involve Anthony Davis. TK, take it away.
Yeah, the Mr. Brainwash of the trade machine's been going crazy with these nonsense deals. Our first one, the Raptors get Anthony Davis. In return, New Orleans gets Pascal Siakam, Jonas Valanciunas, OG Anunoby, DeLon Wright, and probably a whole bunch of picks. Guys, you love this deal or you leave it?
I love it from the Raptors side. Masai Ujiri and the Raptors would do this in a heartbeat, right? You're getting Anthony Davis, a top 5 player, to pair with another top 5 player in Kawhi. You're just doubling down on this whole idea of, like, you got Kawhi here maybe as a rental, but you're pushing in even more with AD not possibly being there for a long time. Can you convince him to stay as well? And the other part I do like about it is you're preventing Anthony Davis from going to one of your rivals, possibly in the East, be it the Celtics, who seem to be one of the favorites come July 1st when they could, in theory, sign him, or the Sixers or the Bucks. So yeah, Raptors would do this. Would the Pelicans want that sort of type of return, even if it's a pick, a 2021 pick, because the Raptors still have their 2019 pick?
Why do you say that?
Because of Pascal Siakam not being, the sexiest young player to build around? Is that the idea?
His potential is definitely appealing.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. And then you look down the rest of the trade, Jonas Valanciunas, OG Anunoby, DeLon Wright. It makes the Pelicans a sort of a middle-of-the-road team, though. Right. Once again, you're trading Anthony Davis, a superstar, for solid guys. And again, Pascal Siakam could be an all-star in this league, but is he going to be a number 1 guy on a very good team? That's highly unlikely. You got to remember he's 24 years old.
Almost 25.
So, not to say he's reached his ceiling, but you should be able to get a real star back in return for Anthony Davis.
So you would want a Tatum or something
I think the Celtics package.
I
would say the Celtics package is still the one that we've all heard about is better. Why are you giggling?
No, I agree. I think they're all good players there, but then you've got those Anunoby and Siakam good players that don't quite move the needle enough when you know what else is out there and what else is available.
The Pelicans would have to think Siakam would be Oladipo 2.0, where he suddenly is a most improved guy and he's an All-NBA and he's an All-Star guy. And he's, he's a 15-7 and he's a good talent, but is that the ceiling for him? I don't think so either. All right, next one here, Trey.
All right, you guys want a little more spice? How about the 76ers?
Ooh.
In exchange for Anthony Davis, Philly could send fellow Clutch Sports client Ben Simmons, former number 1 pick Markelle Fultz, Wilson Chandler, and you guessed it, some picks. You guys love it? Or leave it?
The Pelicans wouldn't do that because you're essentially trading Davis for Ben Simmons. I mean, Fultz, we're not really sure what's happening there. And then Wilson Chandler, a good, solid vet, but you can get way more in return.
Well, this is interesting you're saying this, though. Because all these hypothetical trades that you're seeing being thrown around for AD. Ben Simmons, in this hypothetical, is maybe the best player of anyone we've seen.
That's true.
Right now,
I'm just saying.
All-star this year.
I'm saying what you're doing though is trading it one straight up for him.
Well, that's fine because you're losing one no matter what.
But I think the Pelicans would want to get the star player, plus the potential, plus a pick.
Wow.
I think so.
I mean,
you think they're going straight up for
moon.
that? I mean, because throwing in Fultz, you're saying, hey, he's number 1 pick. That's what you're selling him, and you're not selling him on the actual player that we've seen because he hasn't turned out as well, and who knows what his future holds.
saying the Sixers are going, here's Ben Simmons. He's already an all-star. He's very young. He's going to get better. Hopefully he gets a jump shot, and then, he could be one of the best players in the league if that ever happens. Your franchise, you need a star guy to keep putting people in seats. You could do that with Ben Simmons, is what they're saying.
Yeah, but in that instance, what we showed there, not alone. I don't think that gets it done because there's just not enough else coming there. And obviously Ben Simmons is an all-star talent player. But until he can show that he can knock that shot in, you're going to have to surround him with other shooters and other players who can help facilitate his strengths. So I don't think the Pellies. I think the Pellies know they can get more than that.
Yeah, with all the teams that should be offering trades, reportedly, I think you could get a little bit more than Ben Simmons. But Ben Simmons, obviously, a great player. Yeah. Can you build around Ben? Is a legitimate question, I think. If he gets a little bit more Giannis-like, a little bit more Duncan on guys, a little bit more LeBron-like, maybe you can. But I think you can maybe get a star that could be a guy you build around a little bit more than Ben. Wow. But definitely a better package, I would say, even than the Raptors.
Okay. Final one here, Trey.
All right, my final made-up trade is with the Portland Trail Blazers, who could swap C.J. McCollum and Yusuf Nurkic for Anthony Davis and Solomon Hill's big old contracts. I'm going to guess the Blazers throw in a few picks as well. You guys love it or leave it.
Oh, the trade machine is hot.
Oh,
Leave it.
it's popping, Tessie.
Get out of here.
Leave it.
Get out of
You
here.
don't like
Leave
that.
it. No, it's not enough.
There would have to be way more coming back from the Blazers in this situation, I think. Like, I mean, you're going to say, give us Zach Collins and Harkless or something. You're going to want more guys. And it is similar to me a little bit of the Raptors trading DeRozan. Like, they're breaking up their backcourt when they had Lowry and DeRozan. They get rid of DeRozan, they bring in Kawhi. This would be similar. You're getting rid of McCollum, and you're bringing in Anthony Davis. It'd be on maybe a flyer here. You don't know if you're going to convince him to stay, so maybe it's even more similar to the Raptors situation with Kawhi. I mean, but it's just not enough coming back, I don't think.
Yeah, but this looks like almost like the Boogie Cousins deal that the Pelicans and the Kings actually did, where, you know, you've got those good players without that maybe superstar involved.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that one. I think I'd love to see Lillard.
You love it on the Blazers side,
I would
no
love
brainer.
to see Lillard with Davis. I mean, I think that'd be fantastic. Lillard and McCollum, very solid backcourt. I think if you throw AD in there, it changes everything for the Blazers.
Let's hear from you guys. Jump on Twitter. Let's see those hypothetical Anthony Davis trades. Hashtag the starters. When we come back, though, a little fill-in-the-blank fun. Don't go nowhere. For the starters, time for some fill-in-the-blank fun. Trey.
Drew Holiday signed a 5-year max contract with the Pelicans in 2017, hoping to ride out his prime alongside Anthony Davis. In fact, when Holiday was asked about Davis yesterday, he said that Davis was, quote, like 90% of the reason he stayed in New Orleans. So guys, fill in the blank. The other 10% of why Holiday stayed is blank.
Those dollar bills.
Dollar bills, y'all.
125 million he signed for over those 5 years. And everybody knows it was the other 10%, including the Brooklyn Nets' Jared Dudley. Yeah, the 90%. Yeah, the other 10%, it's the cash.
I would add to that, though, yeah, the money, for sure. But he also chose to stay there because he did have close ties, in my opinion, to the Pelicans franchise. After the way they treated him when his wife was going through the health complications with the birth of their child, I think he respected that. You know, they were obviously great about it. And so I think that was a small part there.
That's true.
$125,
Definitely
$126 million contract.
What about the food out in New Orleans?
Good food.
Beignets and the po' boys, they're great. You know, that's the 125 million. You get some really, really good ones out there.
Do you have a preference between the two?
Depends what type of mood I'm in, but they're the po' boys out there. You can't miss those oyster ones. Remember, we had them.
I know, they're good.
They're great.
They're very,
Cochon.
very
Cochon is the place to
That's
be.
Cochon. That's
Yeah.
right.
All right, next one here.
I do love music, and so does Ryan Saunders. As the Washington Post's Ben Golliver reported that the new Timberwolves coach has a different player choose the team's music every day. You already know I'm going with the boys are back in town on repeat, but fill in the blank. The practice music you would pick is blank.
Busta Rhymes, baby.
Woo-ha!
Any of his first 3 albums. Yeah, we're talking that 96 to 98. You got Woo-Ha, you got
Bob your head.
Dangerous, you got Give Me Some More. Come on, it goes on and on. That's good pump-up music for practice.
I'll piggyback on that because Kendrick Lamar is a pump-up man.
Okay, a little more current.
Yeah, he pumps up myself for sure, and everybody in the town. Yep.
What do you got, Lee?
I'm going with the greatest hits collections. You know, U2, Queen, NXS.
Oh, you're
mix it up.
cheating. You're cheating a little bit.
Well, I've got a Discman there. I've got a chain. You can put 5 CDs in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can really mix it up on mine. It's old school.
I know
so
what
it's
you're
like,
talking
you know, when you're listening to it and someone says, go and change that CD. So you go and you press a button, they all come out and you change it. Yeah.
Amazing. Final one.
A greatest hits compilation. Come on! Anyway, somebody called the Oscars. Kyrie Irving is back in the movie game. That's right, the Uncle Drew star will be featured in a new movie about the Skirvin Hotel, the notoriously haunted hotel that NBA teams stay in when they visit Oklahoma City. But the movie doesn't have a name yet, guys. So fill in the blank. The name of Kyrie's scary movie should be blank.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That's it?
Yeah.
I don't mind it. I'm going Uncle Drew Scared Stupid, which is a play, if you remember the classic Jim Varney movie collection. Ernest goes to camp, Ernest goes to jail,
right,
Ernest
Ernest.
goes to school. There's an Ernest Scared Stupid. I mean, Uncle Drew might as well just start this whole franchise here and do all these things. Be scared stupid at the haunted house, then go to school and go to jail and all that. It worked for Jim Varney. It can work for Uncle Drew.
One of his nicknames on Basketball Reference is the Ankle Taker. So I'll go with the Scream Taker. You know, people in there staying overnight, they start screaming. It's, I don't know.
Something to it. You believe, before we go to break, you believe in haunted houses.
Absolutely.
You said your house.
Yeah, we have a ghost. Yeah.
You
He's a
100%.
resident ghost.
100% we have a ghost. Yeah, my son's seen it a few times. I've seen it.
Really?
I've seen it once, yeah. It
scared?
doesn't scary, no.
It's not
They
scary.
don't bother you. They're just hanging out.
Just like, hey, can I get a bite of that po' boy?
No,
Or-
because you think you see it on Ghostbusters where it's like they scream and they slime you and all that. They don't do any of that. They just mind their own business.
You're cool with it.
And as soon as they see you, they leave.
Do they pay rent?
No, that's the one dispute we have.
That's exactly right. We got back. We got Lili's very solid play. We got to get to that wedgie and a whole lot more. Let's hear your title suggestions, though, for Kyrie's scary movie. Back with the starters, time to play Is This News? Trey's rounded up some recent NBA headlines. He's going to pitch them to us like he's David Cohn, and we'll determine whether or not they're actually newsworthy. Trey.
Our first headline is from CBS Sports, and it's based off an ESPN report. LeBron James's camp wants Luke Walton out as Lakers head coach. Is this news? News from the camp?
You want to speak to this first? Are you a part of the camp?
No, I'm not part of the
got
camp.
a tent?
This is very interesting because LeBron's been out for so long and the Lakers have obviously struggled. Prior to that, things were going okay. We've heard this before, though, when LeBron's joined a new team down in Miami. Remember, with Eric Spoelstra, apparently the camp wanted Eric Spoelstra replaced, but Pat Riley was like, nope, no, you don't tell me what to do. So now this is going to be, and we talked about this a little bit last week with Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka and LeBron. Who is really running that franchise? You want to make sure that it comes from the top, that the message is clear. It's our decision if we choose to make that, and it's not from LeBron and his people. So this is a very tricky situation. If the Lakers continue to stumble, LeBron's supposed to be back very soon, but if they don't get back into that playoff hunt very, very quickly as soon as LeBron returns, I think you're going to see that hot seat heat up even more.
When LeBron talks, it's news. He controls us. He controls the media, undoubtedly. And when Jackie McMullen, as she did on Brian Windhorst's podcast, mentions that his camp may be upset, it's news as well, because you gotta abide by Jackie McMullen's word. That being said, Luke Walton was 20-14 with the LeBron Lakers before LeBron got hurt. I think that's acceptable. With LeBron and a bunch of young guys, first time together, I think that's entirely acceptable. That being said, as you mentioned, Lee, about the Miami situation or the David Blatt situation in Cleveland, if LeBron do not like, then LeBron gets his way. That's how it works.
Luke Walton is a good coach, I think, though. He took over a 17-win Lakers team. He got them to 26 wins the next year. Then it was 35. Now LeBron comes in, and they're on pace, for about 44 to 45 wins. Like, they're jumping up 9, almost 10 wins every year. That's good. And he's got a bunch of guys that are not that great defenders playing pretty good team defense. 7th overall in defensive rating. They were good last year until they fell off at the end of the season. I think Luke Walton's a good coach. I think he's going to survive this season. I get the idea that the camp is like, maybe we want someone else that has the better vision, the bigger vision, I don't know, whatever it is. But I think he'll survive. Jeannie Buss is saying, no, we're still repping with him. This is still our guy, and we're still on the same page. And I think they get to at least the end of the year here.
What's Luke Walton's vision that it's not big enough? Is it?
I don't know.
That's the crazy part. I think Luke Walton wants to win a championship with LeBron James, like he did with the Warriors and being Steve Kerr's man. I don't get the vision. If the vision
well, then
isn't big enough,
why don't they want him there? What is he?
They don't like him, I suppose.
Well,
If that's the case, yeah. Well, the vision thing, it doesn't really.
Well, they
make
were
sense.
wrong. I mean, Pat Riley was obviously right to keep Spoelstra. He turned out to be a pretty good coach. Still has his job in Miami. So I mean, maybe give this guy still a chance here. LeBron has also been out. Who thought they were going to be good without LeBron?
Yeah, you mentioned
nobody.
You mentioned the pace of 44 wins. That's after LeBron was out. They're 6 games above 500.
Yeah.
They're a 50-win team with LeBron in there. That's reasonable. It's better than the Cavs, of last year.
Yeah. And I mean, I get, though, it's not Rob and Magic's guy, right? Luke was there, then they come in to the front office and usually want to get your own guy. I understand that. That's happened time and time again here. But I keep thinking, like, what is Luke Walton doing so poorly that he's on this hot seat? I just don't think it's deserved.
No, it's just being in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
With the
Everything's
LeBron
a
team.
headline.
Probably.
Yeah.
All right, next headline.
Might need to go camping. Our next headline is from Slam Online, comes from a somewhat less memorable Wojbaum. Thon Maker informs Bucks management he wants a trade. Is this news, and could he have picked the worst day for him?
Yeah, poor Thon Maker.
Bad news for him. Look, earlier this month, Thon had an incredible game. 15 points and 5 rebounds in 18 minutes against the Jazz. Budenholzer after the game said he was a difference maker. Right. Giannis said he won us the game. And since then, he's virtually not played. He's been out of the rotation.
Yeah, he's getting DNPs.
Very, very strange. Now, he's always been in and out a little bit of the rotation, but after a strong performance, you figured that might have been a little bit of a game changer in terms of his career. But unfortunately, it hasn't been that way. He wants to move on. Kevin Garnett once said this guy's going to win the MVP of the NBA. So He's got some talent, but maybe it's not the right situation for him in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I trust KG's word, and maybe he just needs another situation. Maybe we need to retool it and think of him ideally as a Clint Capella type instead of the 3-ball shooting guy, because I think Thon Maker can excel as a rim runner type guy. He's got that ability for sure.
We will find out if Thon gets moved before that February 7th trade deadline. It's right around the corner. We almost have February, guys. When we come back, though, we got a brand new batch of the Hoops and the Bloops. Weekend Whoopsies coming up next.